Meanwhile, don't forget, Kondo has the battles there too. Let's take a look here. This time they go for high ground. He beats them to the drop. Whoa! Best Savage turns and burns on iDrop. What an incredible 2v1 representing for NA West. You didn't think it was possible, but they're putting it up. That's 2 for 2.
And another action going down very early yet again. Cloudy Condos, we haven't seen too much of it right out of the gates, but Chapix is down. Aqua was able to get the knock, and they're hunting. They're hunting for Tayson right now.
Let's see it. Cloudy Condos is a tough spot to fight, especially at the southern area. The southern area is more often taken by a singular team of Reason and Aqua, but Malabuka and Mustache got a little lucky here as Tayson tries to steal in and sneak away some loot. But you see the knock body there. No save just yet. They're going to leave him behind. They're baiting it. They want Tayson to try to go for Chapix here. Aqua gets punished, though. And now, little lesson learned, he slows down.
This is fabulous for Malabuka and Mustache, though, because now they have options. They can loot up, they can get the resources, everything that they want, and more as Aqua gets knocked, but Tayson gets taken out. Chapix and Tayson are the second team. EU are the only 2 teams down out of this game so far, but if you look at the leaderboard, Seti and Cammy sitting strong in first, Thomas and Trippin close by, but now Malabuka and Mustache, knowing that that fight just ended, they can either go right away and try to clean it up, or they can continue doing what they're doing, loot up and try to get out. But we know how aggressive this team is going to be, and I think it's going to be the first choice.
Let's see it. There's still a chance. There's still time left in the ticker here, but things are not looking too hot. Let's jump on over to Larson and Smite. Larson and Smite, Grim Gables. This is now, again, the second time we get to catch it real early where they have this slight advantage. The last time it was Looter who fell first, and then left it all up to Muzz. It's looking like this might be the same story once again. Looter and Muzz, notably not that successful in early game battles versus Larson and Smite as a comparison who have such better odds just historically. And so far it's been just like that.
Yeah, that was a huge shot landed by Muzz, but in that 2v1 situation, it's easy to kind of stabilize yourself, heal up, and now Muzz is just trying to get out. He's trying to survive, and it's going to be up to Larson and Smite to kind of let him. Do you let him survive? Do you continue to chase? And right now, they are hot on his heels. They don't want to let these 2 points. They don't want to let that refresh. They don't want to let the elimination slip through, and right now, it is not, but that was an explosive ending. That one almost makes magic happen.
Smite says, you want a show? I'll give you a show. Hold this pickaxe. And down goes Muzz. What a way to really assert yourself here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vico and Marine push up on retake and Novice here inside the box. Vico with a quick finish and then steps over to the side. He 2v1s at the reality tree as well. And oh, the punishment there, that's tough, but it happens.
Yep, the fights, they continue all around. Pink and Anas, they're trying to do it yet again, but it's not Clicks, it's not Dukes, it's Peter Bot and Jamper this time around.
What are they doing?
And they're ready to fight. They're ready to take it to them. And this is what happens when teams go the last couple of games struggling to storm surge on an uncontested drop. They're trying to get active. They're trying to find what damage they can gather. And for Peter Bot and Jamper, it does look like they bit off a little bit more than they could chew because Pink and Anas have every single advantageous position right now.
Yeah, but Peter Bot, Jamper already picking up big end games. They know how to navigate these early game situations, and more importantly, Peter Bot is just gross when it comes down to head-to-head. That is not a player you can sleep on by any means, and Jamper is a veteran. He does not get the credit he deserves. He has put in so much work for years now on the NA East region, and he always seems to fly under that radar. What more can do? And this is a respectable disengage, right? They come on in and say, oh, look, these guys are healthy. I don't know, where's Clicks and Duke maybe, you know, let's get out of here.
Yep, but now you can see Rob Akabam and Wax trying to bring it over towards Chimp and Scram, towards the outskirts, and another team looming in the distance. That's Peppo and Runa. And another team coming from the Lighthouse. That could be Pamsto and Fast. Who knows? Either way, we're going to have a house party in a couple moments.
Let's see at the breakdown, though. Looking for the chop here. It's held on by nothing, and now it starts toppling over. But there are players in the distance here making it tough for them, ruining their plans. But down come Chimp and Scram. So, okay, there is a little development here. They do get to reset. Blind shots into the bush. Robabs is like, hold my mini shield. Let me show you what I can do. And he hits some huge tags there. Peppo and Runa, though, are looking at Chimp right now, and oh, they open fire, but no tags there.
Yeah, and you can kind of see Chimp and Scram. Chimp, you're talking about one of the most consistent players on the NA East region. He knows exactly what to do in a lot of these different situations. He's just trying to get out. He realized so many teams are here. So many teams are trying to disrupt and kind of put their hand into the mix. That's not something they want to be a part of, but that piece control and the peaks, the shots on the defensive end are huge for Chimp and Scram, because now that put that fear into Peppa and Runa. Do we continue to fight this off? Do we continue to lose health? As it looks like they're even trying to keep their distance.
Yeah, Chimp doing an excellent job defending here, but you know, a refresh should be even better in this instance, but the pressure comes in, he loses his shield, and they are starting to run out of gas here. Robot and Walk up to the wall. They say, hey Chimp, we thought we forgot about you. But no, too much pressure for Runa and Peppo, and they leave the damage to them. They go ahead and take this as a small W. The Scram really left to defend himself here. He's doing an excellent job.
Interesting right now, because everybody tried to disengage in a moment. At the same time, they're so close together, there's only so much you can do, but Runa, he takes a huge amount of damage. They gotta figure out a way to stabilize right here, but Chimp and Scram, they know so many teams are around, they don't want to bite up where they can choose. They don't want to put themselves in a position they might later regret, as the shots are still coming in. Scram goes down, Chimp under siege, he's trying to figure out a way to survive. He has no field flip to his name. Wrap up the bomb as well. Every single one of these players are now going to be stuck in zone.
This is crazy. Runa and Peppo start to fight back. They have the shield chug there, and it's going to allow them to go ahead and heal back up. And now they run in to the zone, hunting for Robot. Peppo's like, no, I want this fight. Robot plays the low ground. Runa comes to support, and all of a sudden he is trapped like a mouse chasing cheese, and it might just be all over here. 10 HP, moments are ticking. Runa's down, he's hurt, but Watts falls first, and Peppo gets the first elimination there for his duo.
1 HP for Runa.
Whoa.
He got the med miss to stay alive. Okay, there's another rift there. I was gonna say, I thought they were gonna get the rift in time, but there's another rift there. Not too much to worry about for them. But every one of those teams that were fighting there that might not be the most healthiest are still gonna have to go through Pam, Stu, and Fetch. But on board, Belusi and Hijo, they're feeling good. They got themselves a spot in the zone.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a perfect time to catch up with Vivid with a mid-game analysis.
Guys, the action is popping off so much so that we missed the fight over here at Chrome Crossroads. Alex and Bailey haven't had the best of starts for the day, but game 5 here, they find these 2 early eliminations, and we know that they love to play the higher ground. We want to show you guys these reactions. They're so happy to find this as well. The dances come out. We'll have to see what type of momentum this uses for them.
Excellent. And now we jump over with P.H. Zin and Kitos, who are sitting up on high ground, you know, hands off the desk, relaxing right now, just soaking in what an exceptional day it has been for them. They have played so well, and the zone is now going their way. So for the first time, we have this zone pulling far northwest. This is the backyard of King, Ed, Merim, of course, and Zagu here. Excellent players up top.
This could be actually a recipe for success for the Asian powerhouse, the Japanese team, to kind of take a big game and take up that first place spot right back. They're right now in center zone. They have the highest elevation in the lobby, and a couple teams all around in case Storm Surge does become a problem. As Commandment, Avery, over still towards Rave Cave. They have launch pad to use. They have enough rotation. So they're going to be one of the last teams to leave the spot altogether.
And again, just excellent. Commandment and Avery coming off a Victory Royale, zone pulling their way. This is a perfect recipe to take that momentum and bring it on home. So we are watching several teams now literally catch a little bit of that favor in the feed. Hellfire finds Booga, and down he goes. Trouble in Chonkers down south. That's that late zone rotate, and that is what happens when the zone pulls far north. You could do your little dead side western rotates, but at the end of the day, there are players waiting there too. It's just textbook reads.
Oh, I saw on the feed there just a few seconds ago, Queasy and Vino, they were able to get a knock onto, I think it was Miram or Zagu there for a moment. Are they going to be able to kind of run up and clean it up? I think they got the elimination altogether.
Now keep in mind, Marine coming into that last game, they were in first and second tied leading, and they have fallen to 5th. So this is a huge opportunity here.
That's where you take it into your own hands, take full control of that one. And you can see he was just out of position. You cannot be out of position in a lobby like this. That is what it's going to be a decision you regret for the rest of your life. But Miram, we see Zagu pick up a ton of points as a solo last game. Now it's Marin's turn to return the favor.
And we see what he does here. He recognizes, hey, wait a second.
That's scary.
Vito and Queasy might know I am the solo. I think I've been outed. Let me defend myself to the west and put all of my focus on Vito and Queasy so they do not sneak up. Excellent plays right there. Just smart play. We're seeing what Asia is capable of. Meanwhile, Seti, Cammy, inside the storm. This is their home territory. Dead center, less on the split. And now they get to hit that rotate.
It's in Kitos from Brazil. We talked about them, 186 below the damage threshold, but they're a team that can pop off at a moment's notice. They have the most eliminations on players in the top 10 on 6. Look at that stat, flies up right when I'm going to read it right there. But the 189 below the damage threshold, that is so concerning for me, but it looks like Vincent and Arthur are closing the distance. They might be below as well. This is between two teams, two powerhouses trying to land big shots. BH Sid loses his teammate, 2v1 situation. Arthur and Mixon trying to get into the box.
This is the first time we see PH Zin lose his teammate this early in the game. This is a huge development for him. And notice the problem is he didn't quite get to the zone early enough. And Z, Andy, and Joe capitalize on that solo opportunity. And PH Zin falls. And now they have a chance to fall down the standings here quite substantially. This is really beginning to open up and become much more interesting. And let's not forget, 5th place again is Mareem, left by himself as well. So this is the second game now too where the Japan duo is struggling here.
Yeah, you can see outside of zone, 270 above damage threshold. And this is exactly the plays that you have to make, especially on a team that's looming into the distance. Basil in a 1v2 situation, he tries to peek and take a shot, but 2 prime shotguns are better than 1. They take him down in a blink of an eye. Baka trying to carry that momentum from the early game, but only 62 above the damage threshold. That's something that is looming in the back of their mind, and they haven't even left Chrome Jam Junction all game long.
It's true. And they have King and Ed, some of the regional dangerous fighters right there. We saw what Ed can do. He took out 2 of EU's finest by himself inside the storm while being pressured. Snacky returns a huge favor onto Duke there, so down he goes as Clicks managed to find a trade too. So for them, it's still a tough situation, an even worse story unfolding here as Merstash and Malibu are being lobby focused by Clicks on the rotate now. So all around, tough spot to be in here. Merstash barely holds on and survives in, so no knock there. That could be the difference maker.
Thomas got 2 on the Hen and Vortex, not just 1. You see Babs trying to reunite with Snacky. Malibuka and Merstash also in the distance. For them, that shield keg was absolutely needed, especially since they're only 67 above the damage threshold.
Oh, but I was just going to say, soon we might have to turn our focus to Peppo and Runa. They find Clicks right above Snacky and Fruit. Cammy and Seti put the shield bubble on the boat, and they are gone with a clean rotate right up the river. That is just a 500 head play. Look at the play right here. We absolutely love to see these crazy strategies play out, and there's a reason they are up at the top.
This is just outside of the box thinking at its finest. That is the freest rotation I think we'll see all weekend long. And they're only 85 below the damage threshold. That's not much at all.
No, they're below. They don't have heals. This is a very tough spot to be in for Cammy and Seti as they have a true chance to once again break away with a big lead here. But they are, you know, fighting with one hand tied behind their back.
Peterbot, shields get dropped. Clown finally goes down. Huge siphon for Peterbot. Like I just said, his shield just got dropped. Now you're looking at a short pad from Refsguard trying to make it into zone. As soon as Peterbot hears that, he might try to recycle it, but nobody wants to leave this one just yet. 195 above. Peterbot ready for any challenge. Refsguard goes up and over around each other, and it does look like this might be the moment. They got blessed. Now they're going to try and disengage.
Now, when it comes down to N8 East players that know how to fight, Peterbot is one of the few that represent by doing the work, not the talking. He is one of our most leading elimination leaders on the NA East region in general. So for Refsguard to make the rotate out is an excellent decision there, but he is met with Pamsu and Fatch firing directly inside. But we jump on over to Cammy and Seti. The story continues here. They need a tag. They need more than that. Kanata opens the box. They look to fire back. Nothing comes out of it. And now they say, hey, we got to get to these boxes. Maybe it's more important. Maybe it'll be easier to box fight. But Cammy falls to Bad Sniper. And it's up to Seti to do it all. Can he get pretty much a full elim worth of damage here? Oh, no.
I didn't mean to curse him. Luckily for him, no more. He instantly goes down. I was going to talk about the launch pads, the push game to shove. But now Joe and ZN, he found 2 more launch pads and so much room to work with his Malibuka and Mustache. 2 eliminations. No shield to work with. I'd say not much, but none at all to work with. As Fast gets one on the swag as well. Malibuka and Mustache, they are in the most congested side of the map right now. They're going to need everything they got to try to stay alive, other than that launch pad. But with no shields on Mustache, that could be a risky play.
And what's crazy, remember, Cammy and Seti falling. They were in first place, 11-point lead over Trippard and Thomas. Third place of PHN and Ketos. We already talked about them just being completely devastated there. And here's the updated standing. Thomas, HD, and Trippard have a chance to catch up. Smite and Larson, Vino and Queasy as well. This is such a competitive FNCS Invitational. If we've ever seen one, especially after just 4 games, and now the 5th is unfolding before our eyes.
Top of the leaderboard, stacked like pancakes in a Waffle House right now. It's Thomas and Trippard, 2 eliminations at the edge of zone. And right now, there's so many teams on the outskirts. They can continue to peek and just put so much pressure on the lobby before they figure out what's next. The choices are definitely there. You see Acorn and Edgy, they're sitting clean. They found themselves a nice spot. Belusi and Hydro as well. Not too many teams on this side of the map, and this is what we would call the slower side, to where you don't have too much to worry about, especially if you're Acorn and Edgy and you're 676 above the damage threshold. That allows you that flexibility, that allows you options to pick and choose. Do you want to go ahead and put pressure on another team? Do you want to rotate around the map? The choice is now theirs. But a team that might not have those same choices is Malibuka and Mustache. They're only 105 above. We talked about the lack of resources that they have. For that perfect opportunity. They have the high ground. They drop down low. The game is theirs after they take down Bevy. That is game number 5, sealed up by Vino and Queasy.
And the biggest game we've seen so far in terms of elims, coupled with a victory royale.
The FS Invitational. NA East, EU wins. And in that reign as well, they won about like 5 games in a row, I think. That's impressive. That is right.
Fantastic work there. Elimination, an extraordinary end to game number 5. Yeah. What else is there to say? I mean, the competition has been great to you guys today. You've had unbelievable work thus far. Scored a lot of points in this competition. How much are you enjoying your time here as well?
A lot, to be fair. It's amazing, like the atmosphere and everything. It's just sick to be here.
Yeah. What you saw as well, maybe
Ô, onde é que eu achei essa moeda aí?
material management in situations like that.
It's very important, but it's also great getting rid of I mean, we got good refreshes, we kept our maps alive. We used our splashes well, we played that game really well.
Now you've got one game left today before we down on day number 1.
Porra, não sei onde é que é. Oh, caralho.
Trying to set themselves up for this match. We saw it at the beginning of this
skills up for tomorrow, right? And Thomas, HT, and Trippin, they're looking real good.
I mean, they're looking more than good, Zeke. Queasy and his duo partner were in the first place spot, but second place, that's Thomas Tripper, and they are playing so well. Just looking at their highlights here, they're setting themselves up for the late game, and just now with the interview with Kelly, you saw they're still always thinking, right? What can change? What can we adapt to? How can we play better? How can we take home that trophy?
Yeah, and these are two very, very talented solo players. For those that don't know the region very well, of course, Trippin and Thomas, those guys are incredible solo players. We've seen solo clutch after solo clutch from both of them in the Elite Cups, in the Cash Cups leading before that, and they are just a dynamic duo when things go well. Sometimes things can be a little bit difficult for them when they do get split up. You know, they have to rely on the other person. We've seen that a little bit throughout the Elite Cups this season, but they're bringing it all together now, and oh boy, is it looking good.
I also want to talk about Smite and Larson. This is a duo coming from NA East, right? And they have 5 total FNCS Finals appearances together. Now, it's a lot, but it's also the fewest out of any NA East duo competing here today. But that is not showing because even though they have the fewest FNCS Finals appearances, they're in the top 3 right now in this event.
That's right. Everyone currently is looking, right, to just try and say, okay, look, the first 6 games, we just want a strong footing as we go into those next 6 games tomorrow. I guarantee you there's strategies, little things that these players are holding on to for those last 6 games. I do want to turn our attention back to the standings. We continue to kind of go top to bottom here, Mini Miner. Obviously, Queasy and Vino, massive, right, to now jump up into first place, up by 5 spots after that game. If it happens again, we could be in trouble.
We could be in trouble, and I think the rest of the lobby could be in trouble as well, because you don't want Queasy and Vino to be playing as good as they are. It all sort of form together for them in that final game that we just saw right there. So if they're on form, they can definitely make a push for this one.
Yep, that's right. Kelly, you are standing by with some more players. Let's hear it.
That is right. I am joined here by Ed and King, our Brazilian region players right now. You can already hear the audience going crazy for you guys. Ed, I know that you recently got announced that you are represented by Team Liquid. How are you feeling about that?
Como você está se sentindo que você está sendo representado pelo time Liquid?
Eu me sinto incrível porque é time que eu sempre quis entrar e eu me sinto muito realizado de estar na Team Liquid.
I'm really excited to be in this team, and I always dreamed of being in it, so I'm really excited about it.
And I'm sure they're proud of you. Thank you so much. And then, of course, King, you've been around since the World Cup days. So what is it like to be back here on the stage?
¿Cómo te sientes estar de vuelta?
Português e espanhol. A verdade é uma experiência incrível. Eu não tinha faz, sei lá, uns 3 anos quase. E voltar a jogar lá é uma experiência muito boa e vamos tentar dar o melhor.
I'm really incredibly excited to be here. I mean, it's been about 3 years, and I'm excited to be back.
I mean, I know that Argentina and Brazil are proud of you guys right now. Thank you for joining me with a quick interview, and let's head on back to the desk.
I don't know if you guys can pick up the hype coming through these mics from everyone who's repping Brazil, but every time you see King, you guys are allowed to get hyped. That's cool. I see y'all up in that corner. That's right. Ed and King sign. They're holding up the flag. You love to see it. Now, really quickly, as we gear up for game number 6, we come back to the standings, right? Currently, we see Cammy and Seti, they keep kind of ping-ponging, right? They have a really strong game, then they have a game where they, funnily, throw a shield bubble on a boat. One of the funniest things I think I've ever seen, but then can't transition that because of the shambles positioning. So what has kind of been happening?
I mean, it's Fortnite, right? It's hard to predict what's going to happen next because you have so many opponents changing their playstyle and adapting to the same match you're in. But knowing Cammy and Seti, they know how to deal with it, right? They can adapt stronger than their opponents that they're facing against, and it's all about doing it in the most effective way possible.
Yeah, Storm Surge for this duo at the moment is kind of a little bit of a problem, of course. So many teams that I noticed they were fighting on the edge of zone. Not many teams are rotating in early on enough, and I think that makes Cammy and Seti run into a few issues, right? Because they're, of course, landing in a very central position. They rely on a lot of teams rotating into their domain to get their Storm Surge. Of course, we saw it with the boat rotate as well, the boat-tate as we'll call it. We can call it that. But yeah, they were looking strong. But of course, when you have that shield bubble, you can't shoot out as well. So they were lacking on the surge tags in that end game. And unfortunately, they didn't quite have the answers. They got a little bit desperate. Things didn't work out too well. Seti, I was hoping that he would solo clutch, but it wouldn't quite happen.
That's right, and it's okay, right? It's fine. We're still sitting in top 5. Everything is okay. We've got 1 game left to go. With a single game left, what are some adaptations we're hoping to see? Because remember, this is it for the day, and then we have all night to VOD review. We go back to the hotel, we try and get more games in, we talk to our coaches, our duo mates, etc., and come back stronger tomorrow.
Look, you said it yourself, right? It's one game, but it's really 7 games left, right? There's the last game of the day and 6 more to be played out tomorrow. This last match is just about doing it the best you can, and when you're really going to be reviewing, studying, seeing what you can change up is going to be overnight for day 2.
Yeah, this is such an important game for these teams, right? Especially if you're looking for a little bit of a change up. So for these teams that are thinking, you know what, let's try and change things up in day 2, this is the time. This is the time to test things out, because what better practice than the lobbies themselves? I mean, we saw it with Vico and Marine as well, of course, landing at the Tilted Towers area. They've sort of shifted their rotation over towards the reality tree. We saw them fighting out there, of course, Vico doing so well to close out those eliminations on the team that were landing there, and they're switching things up, and they're a prime example of a team that's thinking, you know what, things aren't quite working out at Tilted. As we know, it's a bit busy, so let's switch things up, let's go to the reality tree, and that's ultimately what these teams are hopefully going to be doing tonight.
That's right. A lot of these duos, man. Look at them. Look at the focus. They're waving to the camera, which we love and appreciate. But they are lasered in. They're thinking to themselves. They understand, right? With one game left, okay, what are the things we need to do to accomplish? What do we need to just kind of say, look, this is it. We left our mark, and we can walk away happy. I think for me, Zago and Meram, like this team that we saw pop off, they've kind of gone a little bit radio silent. What do we think's happening?
I mean, we've seen them. They've been having a bit of trouble doing enough damage or even staying close together. I've seen 2 times now, one of them, Miriam, was left alone, and the other is Zagu was left alone, having their duo partner get eliminated. So I'm not sure if it's because they're not playing together enough, if rotates have changed from their opponents and it's cutting them off while they're trying to get to zone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities, but they really have to focus on seeing what went wrong after those initial matches and see what they can change going into day 2.
They were trying, though. Of course, they made a really, really solid rotation up towards that Rifts area. They had just the best position on the map. And as you mentioned, Takata, they were a little bit split, right? They didn't quite execute it to perfection. Of course, Queasy and Veno, they decided, you know what, let's just take them out. We'll take this position. And ultimately, that's what won them the game. But it's just a little bit of confidence, maybe a little bit dropping potentially with this duo. We saw it early on. The aggression was what made them so impressive. So that set them apart from the rest of the teams here, and that were really, we admired it, right? We admire their confidence in fighting. Maybe now they're thinking, actually, maybe we need to tone it down a little bit, when in fact, keep it up, you know, keep up that aggression, because if you're toning it down, you're not getting the Storm Surge tanks, you're not getting the damage that you need to make it to endgame. Guys, I want to see more of their aggression.
Yeah, and honestly, they're kind of reminding me of a Queasy and a Vino, right? Like, they're doing what Queasy and Vino are doing. You watch on the high ground, you're like, okay, Queasy's up there. If there's one person up there, they're tarping, they're not doing anything, and then suddenly there's someone knocking on your wall like, hi, it's me, Vino. I'm just going to pick up both of you. Thanks. Like, they are capable of this, so I'm not ready to count them out. I think, like you're saying, there's maybe just a couple things they need to shore up, and then they're going to get right back to it, right? Is there anybody else you guys are seeing that you're like, oh, maybe I want to see more of this duo. I want to see more of that duo?
Look, I was looking at the birthday boy, right? Mr. Savage, who had an incredible solo clutch in a late game, but directly after got taken off out of the spawn, right? Bakan on one eliminated both players there, but I kind of saw the flames in his eyes, right? Mr. Savage was getting ready. He was feeling good, and I'm hoping that he can come out on top in one of these next early games and show what he's really made of.
Yeah, he's got that experience, right, of in-person events, and you can sort of see it in the swagger, the way he plays. Like, you know what, I've been here before. I mean, look, it's cool. I want to be like him. I don't know what it is. He's just so cool. And it's reflecting his gameplay as well. He is really taking the game to Storm. He is really popping off in the endgame. He's performing, and he's not showing any signs of nerves. He's really just 2v1ing. We're seeing 2v1s. We're seeing some crazy clutches, and that's what you need. At this level, you need to have those individual pop-offs, because without it, you can't make your way to the top of the leaderboard.
And on screen right now, we've got Reet and Epic Whale. In case you didn't know, Epic Whale, a 6-time FNCS champion, paired up with Reet, who's on controller, representing controller gang. This duo has actually been pretty quiet, right? Over in NA West, we've seen, it's a much slower game overall, and a slower meta. And now, when we're trying to get way more aggressive, it feels like Reet and Epic Whale maybe need to kick it up too, slow.
I mean, I'm wondering what's happening, because I was watching this duo practice, right? In the player lounge, they were prepping themselves, getting ready for this tournament. And in the scrims, right? In the practice matches, they were 3, 4, even 5 elims in the mid game before the late game even started. They were playing aggressive, and they were doing it right against the opponents they're competing against today. So I'm wondering what happened, but we'll have to see if they adapt for day 2.
That's right. Really quickly, hanging out in the player lounge, we've got Adam Savage standing by.
You have indeed here, Zeke, but I am joined by the one and only Cease, everybody! Cease, it guys, we've talked so much about you in the past. You know, it's great to see you here at the competition. How has it been for you? One of our backup players this weekend. How great has it been to be around the crowd, the players? How much have you enjoyed this?
It's been a pleasure, man. I mean, being here back at another international LAN event, it's amazing. I mean, everyone said it so far. You've heard it on repeat all day, but it's such a great experience and feeling to be here.
What's it been like, the vibe with the players as well? Obviously, you had a chance to kind of spend some time with them. The player lounge is right behind us as well. What's the, on the DL? What's been the kind of vibes amongst the players from your perspective?
Cold-blooded. Man, these guys are locked in, especially some of these EU players. Headphones on, listening to music. Yeah. They don't play around.
No, they are focused. What does this mean for the community as well? A competition like this, like FNCS Invitational, it seems it's been massively well received.
Dude, I mean, we've been waiting for this to happen. I mean, obviously COVID delayed things so much in this World Cup, but it's such a great time to experience, like, see all the fans and see the whole community, the whole competitive scene all together in one area. It's awesome.
It's really awesome. And you're awesome too.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. One more time, give it up for Cease, everybody! What legend. Let's go back.
Cease, one of just the coolest people I think I've ever met. Got to hang out with him a couple times over media day. Legitimately one of the coolest people, so thankful that he could be here. I want to set the stage here for us. Once again, we take a look at the top 10 coming into this game. Now, please don't try to freak out. Your Brazilian team in 10th place. PH Zid, Kitos right now sitting on a tiebreaker for Texters and Bevies.
Look, I want to talk about this duo, Beja Team Kitos. They have 25 FNCS Finals appearances. PH Zin alone has 4 FNCS championships, and Kitos with 1 for a total of 5 together. This is a duo that dominates their region, and seeing them in top 10 internationally on the stage, it's really something you love to see.
Yeah, they're no slouches as well. I've been doing a little bit of voting, having a little look at how they play, and oh boy, are they aggressive. They're very, very confident in the way they go about things, and of course, in endgame as well, they're looking strong. What they often do is they rotate towards the front side of the first moving zone just to get ahead of all the other players, and that's why we're seeing them really making the most of their materials, right? They don't have to build, they don't have to make those tarps into the front side because they're already there. It just shows that there's different strategies that maybe we haven't seen too much of that are really on show today.
That's right. We saw him in 8th place there, Scented and Edgy. Once again, Edgy always hitting that 2nd place. Now, of course, 2nd place is still absolutely incredible, but he wants that 1st place, and he wants to do it on a stage like this.
Look, but if he's able to keep getting 2nd places, and it's able to get them that trophy, I think it's okay, right? As long as you're able to consistently get those points, make your way up the leaderboard, it's what you want to see.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Raleigh, North Carolina, y'all need to make some noise because this is the last game here of the day. This is game number 6 of the FNCS Invitational. Let's run it one more time. Here we go. Game number 6 is just moments away, and we get to close out this crazy day 1.
Yeah, and you're already seeing from game number 1 all the way till here, it is action-packed, and that action continues to improve, and it continues to get better each and every game that we watch.
That's right, and listen, Fortnite is at its best when we get to see everyone go head-to-head from all of our favorite regions, but listen up. There is only one more round in front of us, which means there's no time to lose out now if you want to be set up for day 2.
Yeah, and honestly, if you didn't necessarily have the best day, don't worry, because game number 6 is about to start. And if you are at the bottom half of that leaderboard, it's not always how you finish, or it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And a lot of these teams, they can finish strong.
Well, listen up. Let's give it up one more time for game 6 here for our players as we start to load onto this battle bus. Here we go.
Different bus path this time around, and a good chance for an off-spawn cloudy condos. 5 games we didn't see too much. Or 4 games we didn't see too much, but in that 5th game, that's when we saw a lot of activity. And it helped a team like Valeu and Mustache, who wasn't necessarily in the fight. They got the surge and they got out right away.
That's right. Well, listen up. As things start to get ready here and we settle in, looks like we're gonna have to gear up this battle bus one more good time. And it wouldn't be a fun event if we didn't just give you a little bit more airtime from some of our favorite players while we were at it. So give us a moment here. Take a look at the focus of our players. Jacob, we have ourselves still one more game left today.
Yeah, and just take note, that victory royale there from Queasy, was his 8th straight finals with a VR. That is impressive. That means Queasy and VRs go together in finals like peanut butter and jelly, spaghetti and meatballs. They are a duo, so you better watch out, Vino.
Not only that, Vino was talking about how NA East hasn't shown up. I was looking at that top 10. I saw 3 NA East teams on that top 10 leaderboard. But not only that, they are 3 contested NA East teams showing up. So there really has been some crazy performances and put-ups. But let's go to send on over to the analyst desk. Let's just continue to gear this thing.
Thank you guys so much. Sorry about that. We're making sure all of our players are on that battle bus and ready to go. We cannot miss anyone on this pivotal game here in game number 6, the last one on the day. Now, if you're just tuning in, welcome. This is the FNCS Invitational. You've missed a lot, but hey, we're happy you're here now. And there's a lot to talk about, starting with Queasy and Vino. These guys have been absolutely running the EU region as of late. And now, after winning that last game, 11 eliminations, they are sitting pretty in first place.
I mean, they were the first duo to break the double-digit elim record at this tournament, right? Previously being 8 eliminations, but now 11 for this duo. I mean, they're playing very well.
Vino. Queasy and Vino, incredible. Well, let's talk about Vino, right?
Yes.
How good is this guy, right? We got 17 eliminations on the day today. That is the most of any individual player, and consistently, FNCS final after FNCS final, this guy is doing the most damage in the lobby. He is an incredible fragger. We can see it. 5,932 damage dealt. That's a lot of damage that he's outputting, and he's really helping. We saw it in that previous game. We saw the refreshes. He's helping them out so much, and when you have a high ground playstyle like they do, he's really putting on a show.
Yeah, and we've watched a lot of the moments, right, where, again, it's like Vino just says, oh, Queasy, you need me to go eliminate a threat? Yeah, man, I'm down. Like, let me just hop down there, get a bunch of refreshes, and bring all the stuff back, and then we're ready to go again. But I think, too, Vino has actually shown quite a bit of, he's evolved as a player, right? When Vino first hit the scene, he was just this, like, aggressive player. He's like, I want to W key every single person in my face. But now he understands, like, okay, this may not be the moment, but when that moment arrives, I promise you I will be knocking on your wall.
Look, not only having the strong mechanics, but also that strong mentality, it's what you need to be a top-tier professional player. But I want to see if any of these other duos are going to be able to contest the high ground as much as they have been doing, especially in day 2 with more time to adapt, right? We have duos like Alex and Bailey coming from OCE. I mean, at one point, I believe they had On Height in their name, right? Because of how much they like going for the high ground. So I'd like to see some more teams up there going for the clouds and seeing what they can really do.
But we mentioned it, right? Vino, his progression of play, I think his overall play style has developed so much, but it's also, he's got so much of a smarter player, right? He used to have his name as Tundra IGL. So he's not necessarily taking on the IGL role in this duo, but he has the brain to take it on.
That's right, another duo sitting here in your top 10. It's Thomas HD and it's Tripper and Thomas HD. For those of you that have not followed the EU scene, if there is a sniper in the game, you might as well just rename that sniper to Thomas HD Sniper, because this guy does not miss, and if there's a sniper in his hands, he will find every single angle, even if it's a pixel on the screen, you're gonna take max damage.
And it shows. He has the most damage dealt out of any player here today, and if there were snipers in competitive currently, I'm sure he'd not only have the most damage, but also the most elims with those headshot snipes we'd like to see him get.
Yeah, it's interesting, because of course, Thomas HD is widely regarded as the best sniper, and we got a chance to talk to him. Me and Vivi, we were behind the scenes, and we spoke to him. We were like, Thomas, are you sad about the removal of sniper? You think that it's bad, but he was like, no, I love it. I think it's great. So he's adapting his playstyle. Not only is he incredibly good with snipers, also when they're not in the game, it enables them to get so many more surge tags. Of course, you can overpeak. You don't have to worry about getting that 200 damage to the head, because you can overpeak, and you can see it right now. They're getting the surge tags early on. They're getting the mid-game rotations perfectly on point, and they're playing the mid-ground layers as well. They just bounce off each other so well.
And I'm curious to see what they're thinking about now, right? Being in that top 3 spot with just Queasy and Vino right above them, right? It's all about figuring out what they can do to overcome their opponents, right? The consistency they need tomorrow to get the trophy. What will they change? What can they do? Or maybe they'll just, keep playing the same, hope they make less mistakes, and that's all they have to do.
Yeah, I mean, we know Thomas HD is kind of one of those players that says, like, I have to be the best. And if I'm not the best, I will continue to grind until I am. You pair him up with Tripper, who's just mechanically insane. I mean, we've watched him shut down Malabuka, right? When he's in situations where he's by himself, he still finds points. He finds high placement. So it's cool to see these guys finally come together. They've been doing for like 3 seasons, 4 seasons since the beginning. I don't even know at this point.
I mean, that's another interesting fact to bring up, right? There's a lot of duos here that have been competing together. They're like brothers, right? They're like companions. And then we have other newly formed duos, right? King and Ed, first tournament competing together, and they kind of have that synergy disadvantage, right? That some of these other
position on the map. We've seen wonders over towards Chrome Jam Junction. We've seen so many fights go down towards Fort Jonesy as well, but honestly, interesting enough, neither of them involve these two teams going at it off spawn.
Not only that, the coast has 2 teams as well, so there's so much going on in this area. We've seen it play out a few times now, round after round, but this is the first team and not necessarily being quite on top of their opponents, taking it off there. They give it
Lobo tourist.